Hello, and welcome to the Reselling Report for today, Tuesday, May 19th, 2020. I'm your host, Ann Eckhart, and every weekday morning I upload the Reselling Report here to YouTube to update you on the day's retail and e-commerce news, including the latest from eBay, Amazon, Etsy, and Poshmark. If you haven't done so already, I hope you'll subscribe. And now let's get on with today's show. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I hope your week is getting off to a great start. How are your sales? My eBay sales have tanked in the past week. As soon as retail was allowed to open up a little bit, I think shoppers went out and they have not been online, at least for me, during the quarantine where most of the country was shut down and people were home. My sales were doing really, really well. Last week, when things opened up, they have gone down. Now, I don't have a huge store at the moment. I once had, let's say, about 1,700 listings, and some of those were multi-quantity. So I had over 2,000 individual items. I'm only at 300-ish right now, so I don't have a big store anyway. But even that being said, during the lockdown, I was selling things pretty steadily, and that has definitely died. But let me know how it is for you. What have your e-commerce sales look like this past week as brick and mortar has started to open up? We all know that department stores have been in trouble for a while, and the coronavirus pandemic has not helped things. Neiman Marcus has filed for bankruptcy, JCPenney has filed for bankruptcy, and JCPenney plans to close about 240 of their stores, which is roughly 30% of their total locations. I'm always saying that I would expect pennies to go under at any moment. You just never know. Although I've been saying that about Sears and Kmart for years, and they're still hanging on barely. But I went over to JCPenney's site because I was just interested in the brands that they sell at JCPenney. In the event that JCPenney does go under, are there going to be brands that are only sold at JCPenney that do have a loyal following that you can only get at Penny's, and when Penny's gone, will there be a demand for those products? I know Worthington is a brand that's only available at JCPenney. St. John's Bay is only available at JCPenney. Now, those are not items I would pick up anytime unless they were plus size, maybe new a tag. But it will be interesting to watch the development as fewer stores are open if there does become a demand for certain products. Liz Claiborne now is only sold at JCPenney, especially if somebody gets a basic, a certain type of pants or a shirt that they really, really love, and it gets discontinued by JCPenney. Because there are people who like Worthington, and they really like Worthington pants. They have a certain style of pants they like, a certain size, a certain color. They want those pants. And if it's harder to find because JCPenney's is scaling back, it might be something that in the end ends up doing well online. So I'm sure JCPenney will stick it out for the foreseeable future, but it will be interesting to see and just kind of watch those brands that are only sold at certain department stores and other retailers that might not be available in 5 to 10 years from now. I've always wondered where the sneaker resellers get their information. I don't know if you know, but there are people who base their entire reselling business on flipping sneakers. They go to Ross, TJ Maxx, and of course thrift stores looking for what we called back in the day tennis shoes, but now they're sneakers. And I found a section over on eBay all about the in-demand sneakers. They've got men's, women's, boys, and girls. They're showing what is selling above retail. So if you are wanting to go into stores and do these flips, let's see, there's one here that's the Travis Scott X Air Jordan 1. It sells at retail for $175. It's at $1,100 right now. Now, most of these are not flips I would do. Like, let's see, we've got a Nike SB Dunk Low muslin. It says it retails for $100, it flips for $165, or at least that's what it's trending for. I don't think I would spend $100 to make $65 unless I knew it would sell immediately, but it is an interesting page to look at. And again, you can get into women's sneakers as well as kids' sneakers. So I will put the link to this sneaker section in the show notes below the video if you want to go over and learn more about sneakers, or as I will always call them, tennis shoes. eBay has released a press release titled eBay Foundation increases grant making to nearly $15 million to support COVID-19 relief efforts and employee matching. The eBay Foundation is announcing this week $10 million in grants to support COVID-19 relief worldwide, increasing its efforts to a total of nearly $15 million in COVID-19 related grants to date. So far in 2020, the foundation has tripled grant making from 2019. This week's additional funding round is the latest in its history and comes at a vital time for communities and small businesses adversely impacted by the pandemic. New funds are going to Kiva, the World Health Organization, Local Initiatives Support Corporation, Start Small, Think Big, and the ICA Fund Good Jobs. Some of the funding will also go toward Global Give, eBay's annual employee grant-making program to support small businesses and entrepreneurs. eBay is also helping in their local community, where their headquarters are in San Jose. They've already given $500,000 to the Silicon Valley Strong Fund, which is providing financial assistance to low-income residents who have lost wages and are facing economic hardship, and $1 million to the Silicon Valley Community Foundation's Regional Response and Nonprofit Emergency Fund. For employees, the foundation is matching an additional $1 million in employee donations in response to the pandemic. Luxury apparel is taking a hard hit during the coronavirus pandemic because people really don't need gowns during this time. Nonetheless, Elizabeth Stewart and eBay have partnered for Chic Relief, a charity fashion auction to benefit COVID-19 relief efforts. Curated by the celebrity stylist, the exclusive fashion event includes iconic looks worn by Julia Roberts, Jennifer Lopez, Amy Adams, and more, with all proceeds benefiting direct relief. This auction runs through May 27th. So if you would like to go over and see the auctions, they're very interesting. Now, they just went up on the 17th. We already have one issue here. We've got a dress worn by Beyonce. The bidding starts at $800. The shipping is $500. I think that might be an error, but let's see if anything has bids yet. So far, I'm only seeing a couple of items that have bids, and there's only 25 items up for auction. First of all, the bidding is starting in the upwards of 500 and more. 300, 1,000. Yeah, 300 looks like the lowest bid, and then there's shipping on top of it. And yeah, there's only 2 purses. Both of those have bids. They're both Louis Vuitton bags. But the outfits themselves haven't garnered much interest yet. Now, the auction just started, so we shall see, but why not a good old 99-cent auction? Like, let's raise some money for charity off free dresses and just, start the bidding at a good old 99 cents. But yeah, we'll see what these end up selling for. It runs through almost the end of the month, so still plenty of time to bid. I've been seeing a lot of talk on social media about people selling on Mercari, starting to cross-post there. There's a new article up on e-commerce Bytes that's titled New Mercari TV Campaign Touts Safe and Easy Selling. The post reads, online selling at Mercari has seen a rise in traffic amid the pandemic as individuals sought items to pass the time and stay fit. The average Mercari seller in the U.S. made $183 in April, a 50% increase over April 2019. Today, it also kicked off a TV ad campaign that addresses social distancing. The campaign consists of 15 to 30-second video ads that will air across several media channels, including television, OTT, and digital video. Mercari spokesman Brad Williams told E-commerce Bytes. Placements include Jimmy Kimmel Live, The Tonight Show, Late Late Show, America's Got Talent, and The Voice. Audio spots will also be included in the campaign mix. Since late March, Mercari's daily traffic has increased dramatically, and it also saw a notable increase in sales per seller in March 2020 over the prior month. Mercari is similar in classified sites like Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace, but on Mercari, everything ships. We believe our no meetup model is a primary driver of our increased activity in recent weeks as Americans practice social distancing. Prior to the pandemic, Mercari had approximately 3.8 million monthly active users in the U.S., representing all states, and that number has risen. Mercari also reached a milestone amid the pandemic, surpassing $1 billion paid to sellers since its U.S. launch in 2014. That's $1 billion changing hands between individual Americans since we are a domestic marketplace that prohibits corporate sellers. Our sellers are individual Americans, not businesses, selling a very broad selection of used and new items, including home goods, sports equipment, apparel, collectibles, designer goods, and more. So are you selling on Mercari? Definitely let me know. Like I said, I've been hearing a lot more people starting to cross-post to Mercari, and sales seem to happen a little bit faster there than some other sites, especially stuff that maybe you've had laying around for a while. But let me know your thoughts on Mercari. Speaking of cross-posting, there is a new thread over on the Poshmark Reddit forum, which is the place to go for the Poshmark info. This new thread is titled, "Is Poshmark Dead or Dying? I used to be a diehard Poshmark fan. It is how I started reselling. However, I listed the same 15 items or so on both Mercari and Poshmark today. Within a few hours on Mercari, I had 3 sales, questions, and likes. Nothing on Posh. No likes, no questions, no sales for the same exact items. I just feel lately things have not been good on Posh. What do you guys think?" And there's already quite a few responses and discussion over there if you would like to go through and read from other sellers. Most of these replies so far do feel that Poshmark is a bit down. Now, you do have others who are doing well. I think there's always going to be a difference between casual sellers and full-time sellers. If Poshmark is your business and you're actively sourcing and you kind of have your system in place, maybe you're fine, but more the casual sellers who sell things out of their own closet might be struggling more. But yeah, let me know what you think. Poshmark versus Mercari. Like I mentioned in the last segment, are you using Mercari? And if you are you finding things from Poshmark specifically are selling better there if you're cross-posting? We've been talking a lot on the show about how Etsy has been doing really well as of late, specifically because sellers are selling face masks. However, I wonder if that trend will continue as now major retailers and brands are selling their own face masks. There's a new article over on et.com titled, "Where to Buy Face Masks Online Right Now. Etsy, Lucky Brand, Reformation, and more." So Etsy's still the place to go, but this article does talk about other brands that are now selling masks. The article reads, "The fashion world is stepping up in a time of need. Countless companies are now making, selling, and donating non-medical grade face masks. Demand has soared in recent months, in part because the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention now recommends wearing personal protective equipment masks in public settings, including your quick trips to the pharmacy or grocery store, to help slow the spread of COVID-19. PPE masks are usually made from breathable fabric like cotton and differ from the surgical masks and N95 respirators that experts say should be reserved for healthcare workers who are caring for the sick. In times of crisis, it's heartwarming to see companies we love giving back, using the tools and skills they know best. Nordstrom, the largest employer of tailors in the country, has trained its alterations team to make face masks to distribute to healthcare workers, while designer Christian Soriano's small team of couture sewers is making 2,000 cloth masks per day. Dior has similarly pivoted to making masks for those on the front lines in France, and Burberry is using its global supply chain network to fast-track the delivery of 100,000 surgical masks to the UK. The UK's National Health Services medical staff and Prada began the productions of masks and medical overalls at its factory in Italy. And lots of brands are selling directly to consumers, including some that donate masks to healthcare workers and others in need with every purchase, offering a free mask with every purchase, such as Frankie's Bikinis? Never heard of that band. Anyway, other retailers that are selling masks, Forever 21, Banana Republic, and Old Navy, they've all sold out of their masks already. Uncommon Goods, Lucky Brand, Custom Ink, Reformation, Buck Mason, of course, Etsy, they're the big sellers, Jane, Michael Stars, Radian, Radian, I've never heard of them, T Public. I'm on T Public, I sell t-shirts and mugs there, but they also now allow you to design face masks. So I will link TeePublic below. If you're a designer, you can design your own face masks. You upload the file, and then they will print them out and ship them out to customers. Threadless, Casetify, Sock Fancy, and I've also seen Disney. Disney is also selling their own face masks. So it'll be interesting to see how the Etsy sellers keep up now that the major brands are selling masks. And until there's a vaccine, I think masks are going to be the new it item. Probably every retailer and brand is going to be coming out with masks. So yeah, we'll see. Have you bought masks on Etsy or through any major retailers? Definitely let me know. I'd love to hear where you are buying your masks. And that's a wrap on today's show. If you liked it, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment. All of your comments, just even the ones that say hello or leave an emoji, have really been helping with YouTube's engagement. So thank you so much. Be sure to check out the show notes below the video for links to the articles I referenced. You can email me your questions or reseller stories. My email is also below for me to share those on the show. Thank you so much for listening. I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.